And I'm going to start recording so that we have this for anyone else. You're welcome to share it with any of our admitted students. So thank you so much for being on here, Rachel. We are so excited to have you. We are busy getting ready for new students to show up. This is a very exciting time of the year, and I know it's a very exciting time for you to start this next chapter of your journey. So thank you for choosing to trust us with that. I'm going to go over a couple of things. So first, I'm not sure if you are aware, we have been having weekly Q&A sessions with any student who's been admitted. So Deanna has been sending out emails to students, both your personal and your SNOW email, and we've been posting on social media. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, but I'm going to cover some of the things that we talked about and then provide you guys with the link so that you can access the videos and the recordings, because each time we've spent about an hour and I'm not going to have that much time. So I'm going to share my screen because this really becomes, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. Okay, can you guys see my screen here?
Yes, we can.
Excellent, great. Okay, so the first thing we want to talk about with students is in regards to privacy. And this is something that is kind of hard for our international students and even some of our students in the US when they come, because you have been living at home so often, parents helping, aunties, uncles, grandparents, right? There's a family unit or your friends. One of the things the United States is very firm on is privacy. So specifically that we as a school do not share any information with anyone except the student. So this law is called FERPA, and it stands for Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. And what that means is we are not allowed to discuss with anyone except you things like your grades or discipline records or account balances, right? So here's a little bit about that law. We work hard to make sure that you know what you have the right to, and that we don't give out information to people you wouldn't want us to. And it's a federal law, so we cannot, like we have to follow this rule. And so what we like to explain, what we're trying to really explain to students right now, is that you have the option to choose who you want to give permission to. So there is an option for you to decide, hey, my auntie is helping me with my education, and I want her to be able to see my account balance. Okay. On the Snow College website, there is the option, if you go to the registrar's website, to actually select who you want to go in there and have access. And what that means is you will go in and designate a passphrase. That's something that is unique to you. We don't want it to be your username or your same password. And anyone who's going to come in and ask questions, who might call on the phone or reach out via email, we're going to ask for that phrase to make sure that they really know and they have access. So I caution students, don't use a passphrase that is like, my father is mean or, bad words or anything like that, because whoever calls or sends the email has to be able to say that word. So let's say that your passphrase was peaches. Then when your auntie calls, she will be asked for that passphrase in order to make payments or in order to view your grades. The other thing I really like, and I'm going to show you this because I think that's, yep, let me go back. That is pretty awesome is, oh, let me do this. Snow College FERPA, if I do a Google search, it's going to take me there. I love it when I can't find things the way I want it to be. There you go, ferpa.snow.edu. this is my FERPA page, okay? What I love about this is under share my information with others. When I add my husband, my parents, whatever, I get to choose what they can see. So this is important because if you come in here and you say, I only want my mom to be able to see my finances and my schedule. Great. That means if she ever calls and says, I need to know how my student is doing in classes, we can't give them final grades, right? So this is a good time to have a conversation with your family, your sponsors, your friends, whoever's helping you, have a conversation about what they will be able to see and what they won't be able to see. Because if you don't select conduct records and something happens and you get in trouble, or, you know, I don't know, you have an issue and they call us, we're not going to be able to talk about it. So this is a way that we 100% give you access to decide what privacy, what you want to share. So you can set all of them, or you can just select 2 of them, right? Like I just want them to have access to finance, and then I would save it, and that's it. I didn't put anyone in, which is why it won't let me. Again, passphrase, I have my passphrase there. So you can remove it, you can change it, whatever you need to do. Okay. So FERPA is a big thing at Snow College, and not even at Snow College, in the entire US. Privacy is huge, and it doesn't matter whether you're going to the University of Texas or Snow College. They're not going to talk to anyone except you. If you are over the age of 18, or if you are even just registered for classes, welcome to being an adult. It's fantastic. Right? So that's the first thing that we covered. There is also something I wanted to show you, which is on, I think, let me see. Oh, yep, it is on this student portal. The My Snow student portal is something called emergency alerts. And we're really trying to get students to use this, because if there is an emergency like an earthquake, or we haven't had any major earthquakes and haven't had to use it, but we have used it in the winter. One time there was, like 3 years ago, there was a terrible snowstorm and they canceled all classes, right? The way they notify students, they'll send it out every way, but one of the ways is through this emergency alert sign up, and that they gave a text message, they sent an email, they posted on class information. So this is a really good way so that you will know if there's an emergency and what the next steps would be for you. So our public safety office, this website right here is a great resource. It shows you how to get in touch with campus police. It gives you, like, we tell students, make a list of the items that you have. People are honest. I believe genuinely that most people are good. But if you have a laptop and it goes missing, if you have this log sheet and you wrote down your serial number, that's going to be easy to show the police, right? It tells you, like, our campus safety plan. What happens if there is an earthquake safety, fire evacuation. So these are just things that they provide for you. So again, I got there by going on the My Snow student portal and then clicking on emergency alerts. Okay, and when I do emergency alert sign up, this gives me the option. It will log me into my account and it will give me the option to put all of my information there. Okay, make sure I have the right phone numbers there and I update it. Okay, so that's the first thing we talked about. Again, I'm going to give you guys more information, a video link so that you can go back and watch this. The next thing I wanted to talk about, and so I kind of just made a list. So accessing your email and authentication. If you have not yet, this is where this my.snow.edu or the My Snow student portal really becomes very important. If you have not already created your account, please do that. It will require something called dual authentication. And what that means is you can do one of two things. You can have there's a couple of things. You can have a text message sent to you. Most of our international students don't have the ability to access that text, or let's say they change phones and that can create a big problem. The other thing is on most cell phones, and I wish I could show you, there's an app that is called the Microsoft Authenticator. And that app I downloaded. And so when I go to log into my portal and I type in my username and my password, it sends a push to this app, and I have to validate that it really and truly is me. This is for security and safety, okay? Deanna is putting some really great links in the chat. So save those or go there. She's put the FERPA form in there. She's sent you the YouTube link for our past Q&A sessions. And then she also gave instructions. Our IT office has step-by-step instructions of how to access your email. If you have not gotten into this how to access your student portal. If you have not, now is the time to do it. And what I love about this is I'm sharing my screen. Is that we will have a lot of students say, I don't know how to get into my email. Something to be aware of is, sorry, the email is really an alias. You don't type in outlook.com and then log in. I think you can, but this My Snow portal is basically everything you're going to need. Your email is all right here. So all of the messages that we're sending will go here. You don't have to do anything but log into this portal to be able to see them. And if you click on it and pop it out, you can see it's going to open my Outlook inbox, right? And now I can look at all of my messages and my folders and all of my stuff. But I have the ability to see all of my things right there. I need to let you know, it is critical, like life and death critical, that you are checking your emails. Once you arrive at Snow College, we will no longer send any emails to your personal account. We, by law, cannot email you on Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo, iCloud, anything. The only way that you will get emails is at the students.snow.edu. If you are not checking that, you are missing things. Okay? Deanna has been emailing everyone that's been admitted every week, telling you about these Q&A sessions we have. She, at this point, because you're not here, she has been sending it to your personal email and your Snow email. Moving forward, once you arrive on campus, we will only email you on students.snow.edu. When we have announcements about immigration, upcoming parties, we do something called Hot Drink Friday. We invite you for opening socials. All of the fun things and the not fun things like immigration workshops, all of those things are going to go to your My Snow student portal, to that email address. Okay, so I cannot say it enough. I will if you come in and ask questions, most of the time I'm going to say, did you check your email? And if you say, well, I don't have time, I'm going to start telling you what my life looks like, and then we can talk about where time management comes. Right? We all are busy. We're busy with classes and with jobs and with just life. And I would not have a job if I didn't check my email. And as a student, that's your job. Your job is to check your email and to do your homework. So I cannot stress that enough. So that's something else I wanted to show. If you are having issues creating your password or accessing it. If you change phone numbers, because if you connect one phone number to it or one phone to it, and then you get a new phone, you're going to have to reset up the authenticator. Okay. The best place you can go is Snow College IT office, information technology office. We all know how to run the internet. Google gives us lots of good and bad information. This is some good information. So if you click there right away, they're saying, hey, here's your student help. Here's how you turn in a help ticket. Here's resources, okay? So there should never be a time that you're like, I don't know how to access my email. If you're on the My Snow portal, you have email, okay? So again, we went into this a little bit more in detail on the recordings we did previously. So we'll make sure that this recording goes out to Dr. Owusu, to Top Tier, as well as the link for our YouTube page. So that's My Snow student portal, okay? The other thing, the third thing I wanted to talk about today is medical insurance in the United States. So unlike many other countries, the United States does not have automatic medical insurance. It is something that you have to purchase. At Snow College, it is required. So it is not an additional cost. It is included in our I-20 costs, and it is charged to your account. So when you pay tuition, you are also paying for medical insurance. Now I'm going to share this again. This is my website. We use a company called Luremark. Do not go on there today and try and look up your insurance information. It's not going to be there. Once the semester starts, we send them a list of students. We enroll all of you. Hey, welcome back. We enroll all of you, and then we will give you instructions on how to access it. But if you want to know what your medical insurance looks like, you can look up Snow College, and it's going to give you our entire plan. Okay, I selected my plan year for 24-25, and it comes through and it says, where's your ID card? What is covered, right? We have agreements with our local doctor's offices that it should not cost anything for you to go and see the doctor. Now, that will only cover you for sickness and injury. It does not cover vaccines, immunizations, sports physicals, anything like that. Okay, this is just an illness and injury plan when you get sick. I also like to point out, and we went over this, they have things like mental health counselors. This is free for you. Okay, so if you are having a hard time, it's going to be hard. I'm not going to lie, moving to a different country is hard. Adjusting to the weather, adjusting to the food, adjusting to just all the different ways of thinking. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's just different. And so this is a really, really good resource for you to know. If you click on here, it will take you specifically to tell us where you can have 24/7 reach out. It's confidential, and this specifically is working with international students. Snow College has some other services too, something called, I think it's going to be Trula, right? I think. It's something we had last year that we're continuing, that is free. We also have a wellness clinic on our campus. So if you are just having a hard time and want to connect with someone, that is a great resource. They have mentors, they have like game nights, teaching you how to cook, things like that. Finally, with insurance, again, privacy is a big thing. We can only do so much to help you. There are things you have to do specifically when it comes to medical insurance. When you are in the United States, if you get sick, you do not go to the hospital. Okay, I know many other countries, you go to the hospital or the nearest clinic, and it's just like they immediately will see you. in the US, you have to make an appointment unless it's an emergency. Okay. So if you are sick, you've been, have a fever, or you can't stop coughing, or you've been throwing up all night long, let us know. We'll help connect you to the doctor. We'll make you an appointment. But if you've had a fever of, like 42 Celsius for 3 days, that's an emergency. If you cut off your finger, that's an emergency. Absolutely. Let's get you to the hospital right away. So a hospital is for things that must be seen immediately. Life-threatening. You can't breathe. We got to get you to the hospital. Okay. There is a cost with that. It's $100. Now I'm having a moment. It might be 150. No, it's $100. Deanna's shaking her head. So you will have to pay $100 to go to the hospital, which is again why we want you to go to the clinic. It's free to go to the clinic, and it's the same doctors, and they'll give you the same medicine. It just costs less. Okay. So in the US, the idea is you make an appointment and you go see a doctor unless it's life-threatening, and then you go to the emergency room or on a weekend. In our town, we don't have a doctor's office open on the weekend. So if you cannot stop throwing up, or you break your arm on a Saturday, we can help you get to the hospital. Okay. So again, this is all information we will be sending out to you once you arrive and we start school. We'll send you the link to this website. We'll send you instructions on how to get your insurance card, right? All of these things. Also, one more thing, they have something called Teledoc. And what that is you can actually call and talk to a doctor over the phone. And sometimes they can give you a diagnosis and call in medicine, and you never have to leave your house. It really depends on the sickness. But we often, we tell students, maybe try this. If you can't get in to see the doctor, this is a really great option for you. Okay. Okay, so that's insurance. Again, we did cover this a little bit more in depth as we in these other recordings that we'll send you to. So the next thing I want to talk about is our airport arrival information. Okay, I know we have a lot of students who are like, how do I get there? What if I get lost? What if my flight is late? What if there's a hurricane and I can't get there, right? All of the worries. Again, we understand. It's a nervous time. There is a great website we have a great website called Prepare for Arrival. Deanna has dropped that in the chat. I encourage you to open that up because that gives you access to all of these links that we have. But another thing is, Noboe sent an email that looks like this on July 3rd. She sent it to every student that was admitted. Okay. And this includes information on, oh, sorry, this is betting. Wrong one. Let me take you back to the website. She did send an email about the airport pickup, but I'm going to take you on the website that Deanna dropped in the chat. Prepare for your arrival. Right here, you can let us know when you have your visa, but right here, click here to book an airport transfer. We will be providing, and on this same website, here are our important dates, okay? We will provide an airport shuttle to and from the airport on August 20th and August 21st. You can come up here and book an airport transfer. It will immediately, it's going to require you to log in if you haven't, because it's going to autofill all of your information. Okay. What semester are you starting? Are you new or returning? You're telling us, I have my own family coming with me, right? Or I know I need you guys to pick me up. And we are going to ask, what is your flight number? Where are you coming from? On the day of orientation or on airport pickups, we will be in the airport. We will have bright orange shirts on that say Snow College. It's hard to miss. We will have a sign that says Snow College welcomes international students. We spend the whole, we're there until pickup time. We pick up and leave to come down to Ephraim by 3 p.m. So if your flight arrives before 3 p.m. on August 20th, we'll be there. If your flight lands at 7 p.m. on August 20th, you will be assigned to the next day's shuttle, which means you will need to find a place to stay that night. You can stay in the airport all day at night if you want. That's up to you. There are a lot of close hotels nearby that you could book a hotel for. There are Airbnbs. We will only be doing pickup on those 2 days. If you arrive earlier or later than that, it is up to you to find your own transportation. Okay, and we make this all very, very clear on our website. We give you options on how to make that transportation, like Uber, Lyft. There's some shuttle services. There's some local companies that do pickups, things like that. Okay, so your job is to just tell us when you're arriving and if you need a shuttle or not. We will then send out specific details. That will also include an emergency number. We use WhatsApp. So if you get to Dallas and there's a major storm and they can't fly you out of Dallas and your flight is delayed, send us a message. We'll be watching for that. And we try to watch flights too. So if you tell us you're flying on Delta, flight number 942, we're going to be watching that and see that it gets delayed and reach out and say, hey, we know you're not coming till 7 p.m. We'll pick you up again tomorrow. Here are hotel options, In 16 years, I've never, knock on wood, I've never lost or left a student. We won't lose you. I know you'll be traveling. We are used to this. Traveling around the world is super fun. Lots of things can happen. We know. Don't worry. We'll be there. Okay. The next order of business. That was the email I was just showing you. Noboe, who works in our office, sent this email out on July 3rd. If you do not want to bring bedding with you, you can order supply, and this goes for anything. You could order supplies ahead and have it shipped to Snow College. That can be pots and pans. I mean, maybe don't go crazy and order like, an entire house full of furniture because you're going to have furniture. But our dorm rooms come with a bed and a desk and a dresser and a chair for the desk. But there are no hangers. There's no coffee pots. There's no pots and pans. There are no sheets, right? You get the bed, the dresser, and the desk and chair. So if you want to bring things, great, fantastic. If you want to order ahead, this email is her instructions on how to order ahead. The first thing you do is you need to sign up for a mail slot. If you don't, we won't get your mail. We won't get the packages. And you can order that off Amazon, Walmart, Etsy, wherever you want to order it, right? They'll send you, this is how you're going to address your packages, okay? And our mail service will send you a confirmation, but this is where you'll go. And then we ask you to fill out this bedding pickup form. This allows us to know to watch for your things. So if you don't tell us that you have something coming, it could get missed and just go sit in our mail services warehouse, right, until you get here. We would love to have it ready for you when you get here. We know you'll be tired, you're ready for a shower, you just want to get some sleep. So give us as much information to help so that we can help you. And also attached to this is our packing list. So something that is critical that some students don't think about is an adapter or a converter for power source. If you don't have a travel charger that will convert the power in the United States, you won't be able to charge your laptop or your phone or your blow dryer or anything else, okay? Please order that off Amazon or buy it from your local stores, bring it with you, because we do have a local store, but they don't have everything. And if we have 100 international students coming, which we will, they don't carry 100 travel chargers, right? And so think about that. The other thing that's on here is looking at clothes. If you have traditional clothes, please bring them. We do events throughout the year where we want you to wear traditional clothes. It might be like a culture fest, or we had like a food festival this past spring, and we encourage students to wear any traditional clothing that they bring with them. But then also, you may want to wait to purchase seasonal things. So I'm not going to lie, I totally understand the weather in Africa. You probably have not ever worn a pair of snow boots. You do not need to buy those ahead of time. Okay, you can, but we will do a shopping tour when weather hits cold, specifically for cold weather clothing. And it will probably be much cheaper to buy it local than to try and buy it where you are. And I say this to our students from Ecuador, from Guatemala, from the Middle East, from Asia, right? When you live in a hot and humid climate, you don't think about how many sweaters you need to have. That is something you can get here, okay? So again, please go back, look for this email from Noboe Swenson on July 3rd. That will have all the information that you need on it about bedding, about what to bring with you. I also will usually tell students it's probably a really good idea to bring some of your favorite snacks. Food is part of home, and it will be difficult to get the same spices and the same snacks here that you are used to. So if I could encourage you to bring, some specific things, food and snacks are one of those, because I don't know about you, but when I'm having a bad day, my favorite thing is to, make the food my mom would make me when I'm sick. Or, I have a certain snack that I eat when I get stressed. And I take that when I travel. So when I was on the road for about 24 days traveling, I took 2 bags of my favorite snack. So that no matter where I was and what city I was at, or no matter what the food was like, because the food was very different in each location, I knew I had something that I would eat, right? While my body was adjusting. So that's a good idea, is pack some of your, spices or favorite snacks with you to help you while you're adjusting to living here. So that's just kind of a general recommendation I make. So, and then the last one, we do have a YouTube website. I'm going to show you what that looks like. This is our YouTube website, okay? You can search for Snow College International students, Snow College Center for Global Engagement. These are all of the webinars we have done. I love these little faces that it captures. It makes me laugh a little bit, and the dates that we did them. So if you want to go back and watch and see what we talked about on the 6th, you can go back and we take you through everything, and then we open it up for Q&A. So if you have a question first, there's no silly questions. Everyone has questions. And a lot of time you're not the only one. Our students ask a lot of the same questions and we hear the same things. And so some of your questions might be addressed in these recordings. I encourage you to go and do that. We specifically did a session with our advising center dealing with class registration. So that is a really good one. If you haven't registered for classes, you absolutely can now. You will need to work with your student advisor. We have a hold on all new students for their first semester so that you start strong and that you're on the right path to graduate as fast as possible. And our advisors know if your major is business, they know what order of classes you need. If your major is nursing, they understand which tests you need to take in order to get into the classes, okay? So here is our YouTube website. Again, Deanna dropped that in the chat. So check out the chat. We've got our pre-arrival information. We've got our insurance information. This is all just good stuff for you guys to have. And then on that website, that YouTube website, she put that in the chat. That's where all of our recordings go when we're done. Okay. So now we've got about 20 minutes left. I would love to open the floor. Deanna and I can answer them questions you might have. that are specific to you. Oh, yeah, come off mute. But while I'm waiting for someone to come off mute, I'm going to stop sharing my screen first off. Stop sharing. Click to exit.
Guys, please, if you have questions, ask Sarah, Kimberly, Rahel, please ask your questions. Don't bother me with calls. I will not answer. I'm just being real
This
with
is
you.
why we do it. Dr. Owos is
Yeah.
great. His office is great. They're there to help you, but why not get it from the mouth of
From the source.
yeah, from the source. I
Kimberly,
was going to say, I
Sarah,
know
please.
we have had a bunch of students asking about payment plans and payment options. I can't go into that in 20 minutes. That was specifically one of the recordings we've posted. I would love you to go look at that. What I can say is, if once you do not have any charges in your account until you register for classes, okay? And once you're registered for classes, tuition will start going into your account. You access that again through the My Snow portal. So on the My Snow portal, there's a financial aid or there's a pay tuition and fees section that you go to, okay? There are three options, really. The first one is you can wait until you arrive. You are welcome to bring cash with you. Some students, especially if they're traveling with parents, will bring the full amount that they expect to pay, right? And they just pay everything all at once, okay? The second option is you can sign up for what's called a monthly payment plan. This is where we take your balance. There's a certain amount you put down at the front, and then whatever's left is divided into equal monthly payments. I will say that all tuition needs to either be paid in full or on a payment plan by August 30th. We do not make you pay for the full year. You will not need to pay the full 22,000 or whatever. You pay per semester. Okay? And then the third option is you could come and get your balance and then have your family do a wire transfer that comes directly to Snow College. If you are going to do that, we have to see confirmation of that wire by August 30th. Okay, so if your family is sending money to Snow College, they'll get a receipt of some kind. We need to see that. Otherwise, we'll start looking at dropping classes. We give you 5 days to make arrangements for payments. Okay, so you need to come ready to pay. And I know that can be tricky because you don't have an exact total, maybe. Deanna put in the chat, which I love. If you have been awarded a scholarship, we cannot release that to you. We won't release that to you until 10 days before the semester. So that's about August 16th. You have made an enrollment deposit. That will be released at the same time. So if you log in and you've got classes and you see an account balance of $7,000, $8,000, and you start to panic, understand that your enrollment deposit will go in on January 16th, and your scholarships, if you have a scholarship, that will go in on August. Why did I say January? It's not January. Anyway, August 16th. Okay. But don't panic. You're like, I don't have a scholarship. If you applied for a scholarship and you got a scholarship, it just can't be put in until 10 days before. Now, I am sure someone has to have questions. If you don't want to come off mute, that's fine. Put it in the chat. We can answer it there. I can tell you I had the blessing to be able to go to Takoradi and Kinshasa in Ghana. That was amazing. I have had the blessing of being in Johannesburg. And then I have also been to, let's see. I did do one tour where I went for like 36 hours to Kenya, which was not really long enough to see anything. And then I was in Lagos. So I have limited like 1, 2, 3 days, but Our summers are very much like Africa. The heat is very similar. Our winters are going to be different. But I always tell students I've never lost a student to the cold. I promise you might get cold, you won't die. We're here to help, right? So I would encourage you as you get ready to come to just make sure that you are open. That's what I tell people. Make sure you're open enough for the new things that are going to happen. It's going to be a lot of different experiences. They're not bad. They're not wrong. It's just going to be different. And if you're open for that, absolutely, you will have an amazing time. Yeah, Dr. Osu.
I think Sarah is asking, will I get access to the dorm if I arrive before 20th August?
We will not allow access before the 20th. So if you were to arrive on August 14th, you are going to have a hotel or an Airbnb or stay with family members or friends until the 20th. The earliest students can move in is 6 p.m. on August 20th. Okay, so you will have to make plans. And I understand you want to come early, adjust. I love it. We just have our summer camps and we have to have time to be able to clean the dorms and get them ready. And so that's the earliest you can move in. Bonnie, you have your hand raised. I would love to hear from you. Or Bonet?
Yeah, Jacob Bunny, go ahead.
Oh, Jacob. Sorry.
Okay, good evening from Ghana. Okay, my name is Jacob. I work with Top Tier Study About Consult. My question goes, I think it's concerning the dormitory or the accommodation.
Yes.
I would want to know if students have to do a deposit of some amount of money before they come there.
Yes. So you'll fill out your application, but it's not considered complete or submitted until you've paid the reservation fee. I believe that's $250. Now, out of that $250, $50 is non-refundable. $50 they keep as a processing fee. The remaining $200 at the end of your contract, so when you move out, they will look at your room, see if they need to paint or if there's damages, if you broke a bed, whatever, and then they'll give you the rest back. Okay, so it's like a traditional apartment in the US in that you make a reservation fee, you pay like prepay, and then when you move out, you get part of that back. But they won't place you in a dorm, even if you filled out your application, and they're not going to place you in a dorm until you've paid that fee. And if you have questions, I'm putting in the chat, you are welcome. Like I have some students who are like, I can't select my room, or, if you have questions, housing@snow.edu, they're really great to get back to you and help you choose your room or answer questions about specific things. So Jacob, great question.
All right, so one of the students just sent me this. Can I pick my roommate?
Yes. So the housing, I think the way the housing system is you will actually, they made changes this year. So the previous system, I'm thinking this is the same, but you actually filled out a questionnaire like, do I like to go to bed late? Do I like to get up early? Is my room messy or clean, right? Like you answer personality like quizzes. What kind of music do I listen to? And then you can be matched up with people who have similar personalities or similar things. Like if you are open and like, yeah, my room's a mess, then it's probably they're not going to try and put you with someone who's like, I must keep my room clean all the time, right? So yes, I think you can choose. And if you know someone who's here, I think there's a way that they assign every applicant a specific ID. And so if you know, like, I know I want to share with Deanna, I would get her ID from her and then put it in as my roommate request. And then she can do the same with me, take my ID so that we can try and guarantee we're living together.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, guys? Please let us know. You have a few minutes to go.
I'm wondering, are any of these people that I potentially maybe met when I traveled there.
I'm not sure if Rahel was at a fair. I'm not sure about Sarah as well, because those are the two Ghanaians here. So I'm not sure.
Man, one day I'm gonna get to Zimbabwe. It is a whole thing. I had a whole trip planned, and then there was an outbreak of disease, and I couldn't make it, and it was very sad. And do I book housing now before getting to the US? Yes. If you wait, I don't know what's available. If you don't want to live in the dorms, you don't have to. You can live off campus. You can find, any off-campus apartment by just looking for housing in Ephraim. I can't guarantee what that is going to look like. I only know what our dormitories look like. So, and we have had students arrive and not have an apartment. I won't have a place to put you. So if you don't have a reservation, you'll be spending your first night in the hotel. So that I have no control over that, because I can't guarantee that they can process it and get you put into a room if we arrive at 7 o'clock at night. When it comes to roommates, we'll be assigned international students. We try and mix it up. Housing really does try and mix it up. Sometimes, in fact, it seems like there's usually 2 or 3 in the apartment overall, but most of the time, in fact, every apartment, unless you have chosen, is American domestic students along with international students. So excellent question, Kimberly. Great question, Sarah. Thank you so much. These are all really good questions, and it's stuff we hear. So this is your chance to. Also, I did want to mention one thing, and I'm not sure because it just caught my eye. If you have a learning or any disability, trouble reading, or if you have, diabetes or something that makes it so that you have specific things that you need help with, we have an entire office called Disability Services, and they are there to help you. Okay, so for example, if I had something called dyslexia, where I have a really hard time reading, I can work with our Disability Services office, and they will help me so that maybe I don't have to read tests. I would instead have someone there who reads things to me, and then I answer them, right? There are definitely like conditions. You can't just be like, yeah, I really struggle to focus, so can I get someone to help me stay focused? It doesn't work like that. But we do have an office that helps. If you have a need, please tell us, and we will absolutely do what we can to help. Jacob, did you have another question? Okay, Sarah asked.
I think Sarah put a question in the chat
Yeah.
box.
Is the meal plan part of tuition? So it is part of our estimated costs. We did include meal plans on there. Depending on which dormitory you're in, there may be a required meal plan. Okay, we have cooking dorms, and I don't know if there's space still available. It may only be non-cooking dorms, and what that means is a non-cooking dorm will have a refrigerator and a microwave, but no stove, no oven. So you are expected to eat your meals in the cafeteria. If you're in a cooking dorm, then there is a kitchen in the apartment. Like there would be 3 bedrooms and a shared kitchen that everyone in that apartment uses. Okay. Even in the non-cooking dorm, they typically have a community kitchen. So you can go and cook, but no one is there to clean up after you. So if you are leaving a mess or pouring grease down the drain or leaving meat on the counter and not putting it away, they may take that right away from you, right? If you don't clean up after yourself, they're not going to let you be there. Can a student pay the $500 deposit upon arrival? We are really trying to get those paid before. We have held firm. We extended that out to certain students until the 15th. This is the point where we are going to start canceling I-20s, okay? If you know you're coming, and I know that there is the concern of, I don't have my visa, my interview is not until August 28th, right? Email us. My biggest, thing is talk to us. If you talk and you tell us what's going on, we will try and work with you as much as possible. But if we don't hear from you, then we figure you don't care. You're not coming, and we'll cancel your I-20. No problem for me. You've got to talk to us. And that is as simple as sending an email. Reply to Deanna, reply to me, reply to Noboy, just talk to us. That's a great question. Anything else? Okay, then before we sign off, I would just say, you know, make sure, go on that YouTube page, watch those videos, take some time. There are like half of the videos are in another language because we are doing them in Japanese and we're doing them in Spanish, and I'm gonna get a French version up soon. But so all of those videos we showed you, you won't watch all of them, right? There's really been about 4, and you can skip through some of the stuff that we've talked or watch it at like, you know, 2 times speed. But ask questions, send us emails, let us know how things are going. We are very excited. Again, when you sign up for the airport pickup, we'll send you details, emergency numbers, what to do if you're delayed, all of those things. I would also say, look up Ephraim. There is nothing that's more surprising to me than the number of students who come and go, I didn't even know what it looked like. Google Maps is amazing. Jump on the internet. The wonderful World Wide Web has great information. Learn a little bit about where you're coming, because you're going to spend the next year to 2 years here. So learn a little bit about our community. We are very excited to have you. We have a great college campus. It's going to be a great semester, and we cannot wait to meet you. So we'll sign off for now. I'll send this recording to Dr. Owusu to share out, but have a great weekend, you guys. And watch for our updates. We're going to have another one coming up, another session on August 7th that is specifically going to be dealing with immigration, what you need to carry with you when you leave your country to present to customs, and the rules you have to follow while you're studying. So we're doing a very specific immigration focused one. So make sure you watch for that. We'll send you an invitation. It's going to be on August 7th. So thank you, Dr. Owusu. Thank you so much, everyone who's on. Yes, one more question. Oh, muted.
One last thing, Erica and Julius will be in Zimbabwe, as I mentioned earlier on. So is there anything else, maybe if you can pause the recording, then any advice or anything that you have for them